Hi guys, it's Alexandra here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you my CozWeek Readathon TBR. So CozWeek is a readathon that is hosted by Courtagonist here on BookTube. I will link her channel and her introduction video below, but she and her channel are focused mainly on cozy mysteries, but she does read other things. It's a wonderful channel. It is one of the first channels I ever found that talked about cozy mysteries, and I just think that she is so wonderful. So if you're interested in doing this readathon or just even checking out her channel, be sure to head over there. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. But she just introduced CozWeek for this year, which runs from July 1st through July 7th. And I wanted to go ahead and give you my TBR / reading selection pile. Obviously, as I said, I'm a mood reader, so this pile of possible books may change throughout that week of the readathon, but I figured in the spirit of it, I would go ahead and share with you what I'm thinking about reading. In the description box of the CozWeek introduction video, she left a Google Doc that you can click on and make a copy of, print it off, and it has the prompts on the bingo board, and the goal is to try and get a bingo throughout the week. You could try and do all of the prompts or only one of the bingos. It's just a readathon to have some fun, celebrate, and just feel cozy and enjoy something that we all like to do. Not all of the prompts are actually like read this kind of book or read a book that has this in it. Some of them are things like read outside or read in bed or read with a coffee or tea or a hot beverage. So you can kind of make those work however you need to for your personal bingo. The first prompt says read a baking cozy mystery, and for that I have two possible options. The first is Raspberry Danish Murder by Joanne Fluke, which is a part of her Hannah Swenson series. And I also have another one, Bites the Crust by Ellie Alexander, which is a part of her Bake Shop mystery series. A quick summary of the plot for Another One Bites the Crust is that our main character, Jules, she has been asked to provide the Elizabethan treats for the Shakespeare Festival that is taking place in Ashland, Oregon. And right before the season starts, the artistic director, Lance, gets into a fight with one of the actors, and the next morning, that actor winds up dead. And now Jules is convinced that Lance had nothing to do with his murder and is trying to prove his innocence and figure out who is actually the one that committed the crime. I do want to give you a brief summary of the Raspberry Danish Murder plot. It's a little harder to do without giving you spoilers. I know that some of the things that I could say are technically on the back of the book in the synopsis, but if you've not read or are not caught up with this series, I don't want to go into too much of it because, in my opinion, I think some of the things that are happening now towards the end of this series would ruin the reading experience of being earlier in the series if you knew they were going to happen before they happened. I don't know if that makes sense. Essentially, in this one, it's November in Minnesota, and Hannah, who owns the Cookie Jar, which is a bakery, she's introducing a new dish called a Raspberry Danish, and everything is going great, but one day, PK, who is an assistant at the KCOW TV station, he ends up dead. And so they're trying to figure out whether PK was actually the intended target or whether the intended target was somebody different and the murderer did not hit their mark, and if they are going to try and do that still. Alright, so the next prompt that would have a book that goes along with it is read a new author. And for this, I'm going with an author that would be new to me. There are, again, two options that I'm thinking of picking from for this particular prompt. The first is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and the second is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. Alright, so I know this is CozWeek, and this book is anything but cozy, but it does fit the prompt, and I'm really intrigued by it, so I did want to put it on this possibilities list, TBR, whatever we're calling it. And essentially, the plot of this book is that our main character, Maggie, when she was growing up, her dad always talked about how the house that they lived in was haunted, and she never believed him ever. And then her life just kind of moves on and progresses, and as she becomes an adult, all of a sudden that house falls back into her life, and she is now preparing it to renovate and then get it back on the market to sell. And as she's doing this, she realizes that some of the things that her dad said may not have been entirely untrue. And she's realizing that, in fact, this house may be haunted. And on top of that, there is some kind of creepiness going on in the community at large surrounding her and this house. So I think this sounds like a great time. I think it sounds terrifying, but I don't know. I really, really want to pick it up. All right, so with Bringing Down the Duke, this is set in the 1800s, and our main character, Annabelle, she is one of the first female students to be able to attend Oxford University, and essentially she is able to be there based on a agreement that while she is there, she will work on recruiting men of influence to help champion the women's suffrage movement. And she has one particular target in mind, which is this kind of cold and stony guy who has absolutely on the outside no endearing qualities, and she is sent to try and get him on their side. And from what I understand, it's kind of that tumultuous beginning, but romance begins to blossom. So I'm excited. This definitely sounds much more lighthearted, so I don't know which one I'll end up going with for this particular prompt of read a new author, but I think both sound wonderful. Briefly, I did want to talk about the one prompt that I don't have any books for or any ideas for, and that is read a sci-fi cozy. And honestly, I don't have any because I know in my collection that I don't have any sci-fi cozy mysteries. I'm a baking and scrapbooking / coffee cozy person, not so much a sci-fi, and I didn't even really know they existed, to be quite honest. So I may or may not be able to end up doing that prompt. If I do, I'm going to try and find something through the Libby app. I don't know if I'll be able to do that one. I may like substitute in and read a cozy mystery that I have on my shelf that I haven't picked up yet or something, but I don't have a sci-fi cozy mystery to add. And the last prompt that has to do with picking a particular book to read is read a new release. And there are, again, two potential options for me with this prompt. The first is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which I have talked about. This is a prequel to The Hunger Games, and it follows Coriolanus Snow as a young person. I am a little over 162 pages into this one, so if I have not finished it by the time that this readathon starts, I will probably finish this one first. However, if I am not feeling that book or I've already finished it, the other option is The Boyfriend Project by Farah Roshan, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing her name right. If you know how to pronounce that, please let me know. It follows our main character, Samaya, who finds out that she has been catfished by her boyfriend, and she and the two girls that essentially he was cheating on her with, which their names are London and Taylor, they meet up and they decide that they are going to dedicate the next 6 months to investing in themselves and making themselves better, which means no men and no dating. And essentially she starts putting herself first, and then all of a sudden there is a new man that walks into the scene, and obviously romance begins to spark. But anyway, that is my CozWeek TBR / potential reading options. There's one more thing that I would really like to talk about before I sign off for this video, and it has to do with CozWeek. So I started my channel basically focused totally on cozy mysteries, and they still have a very special place in my heart, even though I don't read them as much as I used to. But I was hoping and thinking that if I had the time during CozWeek, that I would like to do a series of videos on my channel that week that focus on everything to do with cozy mysteries, from the recipes to things I like to things I dislike, etc. So be on the lookout for those. I still really don't have a way to do reading vlogs, so I thought in place of reading vlogs, I would bring you guys some cozy mystery content and just kind of bring the roots of my channel back to the forefront. And who knows, maybe I'll find some great reading inspiration out of that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post new content. Also be sure to check out the description box because I will be leaving Courtagonist's channel down there and some more information about the books that I chose for this readathon. But thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.